And so to the final of the women's lightweight pairs.
Attention.
So Dan, as we go away, a question here. This is a non-Olympic event and it's a rowing event as opposed to a sculling event, given that lightweight sculling is the only opportunity for the women. So when people are talking about should we rationalise the programme, lose one or two races, tighten things up, is this a candidate?
Well, it was. You only had 4 entries last year, but here we are. We've got a full final of 6, and that's made it much more competitive. I think last year you would have perhaps made a case for saying this maybe should be dropped from the programme, but 6 entries here, and I think it's really down to the federations to produce the crews for these events, because it's only by having strong backup events that you keep the top strong. If you start knocking off events at the bottom end, you start to reduce the level at the top, because fewer and fewer people take up the sport because they don't see a way forward into the Olympics. So I think here there's always every chance that the top players in this event will change into sculling. This is a way for them to break into the team, make their mark, then they can turn to sculling and try to make their Olympic teams in the sculling events. But here we've got Romania, who are taking out the front, and Romania always very strong in women's rowing, traditionally so, and Great Britain, who have been dominant, as you say, they are in second place at the moment.
But in a sense, a couple of rookies for Great Britain. Michelle Dollimore from Richmond, member of Kingston Rowing Club, took up the sport in 1996, was first in Lucerne, but really with her partner Julia Warren from Weybridge, who began her rowing career at Cambridge. These two, this is their real first taste of the very top flight.
Well, it is. In fact, it is a lot. It is very much for the all the participants here in this race. Romania probably have the most experience. They just look already sort of strong and long out there at the top of the picture. Really very professional outfit, looking very good indeed. And they're very thin though, very thin, very tall, and obviously starving to keep their weight down a little bit. But they've already got a length now on Great Britain, and you can see Great Britain, slightly unorthodox style, but strong. They're well together. They're moving their boat along, but it's quite short in the water. They're not taking very long strokes compared to the Romanians, and they're just holding off the pursuing pack here.
Yeah, United States in the foreground there. Winners of this in 1999 and runners-up in 2000 and 2001. But here are the British two, and it is Michelle Dollimore you had in the stroke seat there. They've got about a length to make. The Romanians have made this a very tough opening 1,000 here. Yeah,
they have laid it down very well. They're now sitting there at 34 strokes a minute, just looking very professional, very good, long strokes. And but the British are still stuck there. They can't really break away, the Romanians, and the British pair are staying in there, but they're now being tracked quite well, quite effectively by lane 6, the United States of America.
Watch out also for the Spanish, who were bronze medalists a year ago. And it'd be interesting to see, there they are in picture now, and it'd be interesting to see the Pito sisters from Hungary. You might remember, Dan, that awful food poisoning epidemic that broke out in the Hungarian camp just before the World Championships, and they were victims of it. And really, they've made a big effort to come back, and they've been determined to try and get a victory. They want to finish on a high. They're both a little bit older than most of the women in this particular final. But at the moment, the Hungarians, I'm afraid to say, are at the back and have got quite a lot to do.
Well, still, that's a tight tussle there. The British aren't letting Romania get away. It's still just clear water, but Romania stretching out and really beginning to put the pressure on there. They do look like they know what they're about, don't they, the Romanians? Very strong, very long, legs driving down, very nicely coordinated. Good sharp catches.
I think Liliana Nija was in the lightweight double scull for Romania last year with Monica Stan that finished 12th, but no chance for them to occupy that boat this year because as you'll see a little later in the regatta, we have the return of Constanta Burcica, the double Olympic champion, into their lightweight women's double scull. But these two women very much in charge now. Great Britain solid in second place, and watch out for Greece in lane 2, just beginning to make a move now, Dan.
Yeah, but Great Britain now just beginning to slip off the pace there from Romania, and they can see the attack coming. It's a little bit rough and ready, but they are effective in the water, moving their boat, keeping well ahead of the rest of the field. But they've gone up now to 36 strokes a minute because they can feel the pressure coming on from behind, from the United States, and now from Greece, who begin to move up on the United States.
Yeah, this is a good performance by the Greeks, and of course it's not an Olympic boat class, but it will give them some encouragement. It makes an awful difference to the whole atmosphere of your home regatta, particularly at the Olympics, if the home crowd have got a crew to cheer on.
Absolutely right, and certainly the Greek crew is beginning to push on, but that's Great Britain there, really trying to hold on in this last 500 metres and feeling the heat. Now it's the United States overlapping the British pair, and Greece on their other side there, just on the top of the picture as they go through the last 500 metre mark.
Yeah, the Greeks by far the quickest of the chasers, but I don't think anybody's going to catch the Romanians now. It's a question of whether the two British women can just find that little bit to hold off and secure that silver medal, which will be a good achievement for them at their first senior international regatta at the Worlds here. But America not going to make it easy for them, and neither are the Greeks. Just keeping an eye on the Americans now, but looking pretty good to me over the far side of the regatta course there. There's very little. The Americans just fractionally in bronze medal position.
Absolutely, and the United States now trying to hold them off, but they're now stroke for stroke, 36 strokes a minute. It's really what can happen now in the last 250 metres, but Romania are well clear, and Great Britain beginning to push back again on Romania. And that's probably partly because they're trying to hold off the attacking United States and Greece, but they are still there, overlapping, and it's the United States who seem to have got the initiative there on Greece. United States now about 2/3 of a length down on the Great Britain pair, who have wound it up now to 39 strokes a minute.
I'll tell you what, for third place, Dan, it's going to come down to who wants it most, and I wouldn't rule the Greeks out because they're coming back at the Americans now, and I would say they've just about got there.
That's a great battle there. They've been really locked in that kind of combat now for about 800 metres, but it's Romania out in front. They've wound it up. They are well clear. They're up at 39 strokes a minute as well. Great Britain still overlapping them now, just beginning to fall back. They're going to be clear for second place, but Greece certainly have moved ahead of the United States.
And Romania coming through to take this gold medal. Remember, 24 hours ago, major shock when Andrinaci and Viorica Suzanu were beaten in the women's pairs, but they've got this gold medal. Great Britain are second, and Greece do get that bronze medal from the United States. And what chance, I wonder, for the Greek women, Angeliki Gremou and Elfriede Grigoriadou, to compete at Athens? Well, if they want to do that, they're going to have to change boats into the lightweight double sculls and qualify next spring in Lucerne. Some consolation for Romania after yesterday's loss in the women's open weight pairs. This victory for their lightweight equivalents. Mike Williams, the treasurer of FISA, doing the honours.